Mr. Mohamed Aashik is working as the Facilities Manager and the Deputy Head of Cooperative Services in British High Commissions, Colombo, and a visiting lecturer for the BSc Honours in Facilities Management, undergraduates in University of Moratuwa. He possesses BSc Honours in Facilities Management degree in year 2012, and later he passed the exam with the submission of green projects in Green Building Council, Sri Lanka, to extend his career to energy and sustainability. In year 2015, he completed the MBA with merit pass in University of West London to advance his engineering knowledge to strategic management to create a fusion in facilities management field. In year 2018, he attended project management professional certification programs offered by USA. He is also currently holding the president position in the Institute of Facilities Management Sri Lanka from August 2018, which is a sole representational body of facilities management professionals. Mr. M.A.R. Shaveen Fernando is working as the manager of procurement in Walanka Private Limited, which is a subsidiary of Haley's PLC, Eco-Solutions subsector. He possesses BSc Honours in Facilities Management degree in year 2015, and in year 2019 he completed CIMA UK and attained the associate membership in year 2020, and then followed MBA in University of West London in 2022 to advance his engineering knowledge to financials and strategic management. He is also currently an associate member and also a council member heading the Professional Affairs Board in Institute of Facilities Management Sri Lanka since 2020, which is the sole representative body of facilities management professionals in Sri Lanka. So welcome on stage Mr. M.A.R. Shaveen Fernando and Mr. Aashik, Mohamed Aashik, representing the Institute of Facilities Management.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, as I was explained, I'm Shaveen, and Mr. Mohamed Aashik is also there. We are representing the Institute of Facilities Management. So first of all, for giving us this opportunity to be presented here today. So our topic would be for today is architecture and facilities management work together to extend a building life cycle. I do repeat, it's architecture and facility management work together to extend a building's life cycle. So being architects here, y'all are already aware what architecture is. So let me just brief you about what facilities management is. Y'all might be aware, but in a nutshell, let me explain what facilities management is prior to getting started with the topic. And y'all might be wondering what facilities management is, why facilities management is required, when and where, how it is being utilized in organizations, in facilities. So y'all might be having different questions in your mind. So there's no time, hardly any time I have just to go through all these things. Anyways, let me just in a nutshell explain y'all what facilities management is. Facilities management is a discipline which ensures the functionality of the built environment. As it is shown there, the built environment will be managed by integrating people, which means human, place, process, and technology. And also, as we are all aware, there are a lot of facilities, high-rise buildings, shopping complexes, office buildings, apartments, condominiums, everything coming up. So there's a high potential and high requirement for facilities management. Those facilities has to be managed effectively and efficiently. So that is where facilities management is required. So facilities management is therefore managing the supportive activities, which are the non-core activities of an organization in order to support the core business activities. So as we are aware, the facilities management requirement differs from organization to organization, and facility to facility also it differs. And being architects, you all know the facility is being constructed, like, hotel construction as well as office space will be constructed in two different ways. So there are different parameters there. In the same way, the facilities should be managed differently. The requirement of the end user and the nature of the operation, it will be decided on how the facility will be managed. So that's all about facilities management. And then in here you can see the scope of facilities management. Mainly hard and soft facilities management is mainly focused, and real estate management, human resource management, financial management, where you have negotiations, cost saving initiatives being calculated, energy management, organizational management, and business continuity strategies. So basically facilities management could be considered as an umbrella term where facilities being managed based on the requirement of the end user and the operational requirement of any organization. And here I have shown you the purview. If we consider the term facilities management, there you have hard FM and soft FM. Under hard FM, mainly the physical environment is being managed. Building maintenance, where you have preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, so on. And being architects also, you all aware, during the design stage, it really matters in order to consider the management aspect, maintenance aspect of the building. So facilities managers would directly engage with building maintenance, structural maintenance, air conditioning, heating, ventilation system, mechanical, electrical systems, CCTV systems, access control systems, and fire safety, so on. And then soft FM would be managing people and the organization. So that's also really vital, where a lot of people engagement is also there, where you have to see a lot of aspects: cleaning and janitorial services, waste management, space planning, security services, health and safety management, car park management, pest control, catering, vending, ground maintenance, which means landscaping, and help desk, mainly for main high-rise buildings, office premises, where you have. So that is basically hard FM and soft FM. It has been categorized. And in this particular slide, you can see facilities management industry pillars. There we have mainly four. We are starting with the first one, general administration and business. That is where mainly facilities management is engaged with the management decisions and, supporting the core business to be operated. And then this, as a second one, you have operations maintenance and daily facilities management. That is where the day-to-day operations is being conducted. That is during the post-occupancy stage. And then you have leadership and strategy. And finally, you have building design, construction, and renovation. That is where facilities management collaborate with the architects and get the best out of the facility. So working with architects during the pre-construction stage would really be helpful for the organizations to get the maximum. So as I have shown there you have facilities management mainly could be considered under the pre-construction stage as well as the post-construction stage. Mainly in Sri Lanka, we do see mainly facilities managers are being recruited and facilities management is being focused during the post-construction stage. But it is always ideal just to focus more on the utilization of facilities managers, engaging that during the pre-construction stage, because architects, they are experts in construction and activities, but facilities managers, architects will be constructing the facility and then be handing over to the end user where it should be maintained. So facilities managers being the people who are engaged directly with the maintenance, so they can just share their inputs, share their requirements on behalf of the end user and get the right thing in collaboration with the architects. So that's about how architecture is being used in pre-construction and post-construction stage. And then we also have facilities managers mainly focus on value-based facilities management. The roadmap is shown here, where we are currently now. Always facilities management is focusing on that, identifying the value, establishing facilities essentials, and then where we need to go, identifying the facilities management operations, the requirement, and the finding ways how to get there. So working together with architects, getting their opinions during the pre-construction stage also, and together facilities managers and architects should go a long way and cater the requirement of end users. So hope y'all are clear about what facilities management is, and now y'all might be having a question like how architecture and facilities managers work together to extend the building life cycle. So that's our main topic for today. So in order to brief you all about this aspect, let me invite Aashik, Mr. Aashik, who is the president of Institute of Facilities Management. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shaveen. So let me remove this. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So hope you all have energy because after lunchtime, we are gathering here. So there are a lot of things going outside of the world right now with Ukraine, Russia, a lot of conflicts going on. Anyway, so let's move on to this topic. So architect and then facilities management. So I'm sure architecture, most of you might have, quite aware what they're capable of delivering. But facilities management, how many people aware about this discipline? Maybe one or two, I guess. So that's where we are here, and we are really pleased to accept your invitation today to share our facility management aspects in an architect forum. So this is the first time I believe happening in Sri Lanka right now, and you would have seen, okay, this facilities management, it's introduced very recently, but still buildings being designed. And, a lot of high-rise buildings, vertical structures been, designed. So still it's surviving. So what this particular discipline going to add value to this particular construction industry or the facility or building, whatever it is? So you might wonder. So let me explain one by one how we can add value to this. So, so I think I have experience more than 10 years in facility management field. So I come from, through proper education channel, and then I got into a post-construction stage building. So I've been managing mostly post-construction stage building, where when I deal with day-to-day issues, then I realize a lot of people trying to put blame on architects. So this is not been thought of, this is not been done, but I see it differently. As a facility manager, we see it differently. So it's not anybody's fault. At that time, client's briefing is given, and this is what they want, and then based on that, at that time, whatever the situation available, they take decisions, right? So during construction, certain building, let's say 2-3 years construction stage, so afterwards, what's going to do? So this building needs to survive, it needs to operate. So that can go on and on, maybe 50 years. So that's where the maintenance team or facility management team coming into the scene, and they're trying to, cater the requirement based on the end users who are occupying the building. For example, that building been designed initially to have a hotel. Later on, they feel, okay, the hotel cannot be run because of COVID or whatever. They want to convert it to a hospital. For example, I'm taking a... So how can that building fit into that? Because initially design was given in a different way. Then when you're trying to operate, then there will be a lot of practical issues. So that's what we see. So if the operational team or facility management team can involve during these stages, at least we can make sure that architects' thought, vision during the time of design can be, maintained throughout the building, rather than, changing it in between. Some of the renovations, different, maybe after the design stage of the building, architect might be not seen in the building. But every time he crosses the road, he might see, this is what I designed. Later on, this has been ruined because of improper maintenance. The vision was completely killed because of certain reason. So how we can, live architect's expectation and, keep the, how I can say, every architect design their building with a lot of, adding a lot of value, a lot of love. He wants to show, this is one of my milestone design. This is how I've been doing. So he wants to show. So there are rare buildings where you can see, in Sri Lanka, people will like to go there and, witness the architect elements. Because after certain years of time, they feel, okay, this is old and, all sort of things. They don't want to go into this. So even in current world, you could see a lot of new buildings, people are willing to go there to see, witness the architect elements, the facade, you call it high-rise, vertical, you get a nice scenery views, the material, everything being well thought by the architects. Maybe another 20 years down the line, will that be same? So that requires a lot of maintenance to ensure that vision is maintained throughout the life cycle. So that's what this facility management is all about. So making a plan. How, as a facility manager, we can help, to maintain, help architects to, maintain it. So during the client briefing session, so client might be, briefing architect, okay, this is what my concept, this is what I want to make this building to operate so and so business or whatever operation. So then what happens, so architect designs in a way, then he can consult, and facility management also can, it's like a complementing each other, and we can give, okay, this is how the building should be done. For example, I will give you, there was one building where the fire exits, only one fire exit been designed in one of the high-rise building. So normally the standard is what, normally you should have a 2 high-rise building, but that was designed very long time ago. So, but architect design according to the standards prevailed at that time. But if you compare that with current standard to the existing building, then you will say, okay, this building is non-compliant. So who's going to be blamed on that? It's not about architect's fault. So, right? So whenever the client briefing is happening, we should be able to tell client, okay, this building going to survive for 50 years. These are the international standard practices available. Even though Sri Lanka is not practicing, it can come at any stage. For example, Legionella testing. How many organizations in Sri Lanka are doing it? A lot of international organizations, they do Legionella testing. So Legionella is a bacteria that grow normally in a trap water, shower faucets and things like that, where you have to check whether there's any issue. So how you can maintain it? You have to make sure end users to flush. If certain taps infrequently used, then you have to make sure it's been flushed out. So that way you can kill all the Legionella aspects. And asbestos. So asbestos surveys must. Every year, international organization, they do to ensure there's no asbestos in the building, because that has a lot of carcinogenic and all sort of other issues. So that can come to Sri Lanka at any stage. So when facility management can sit in that particular client briefing, and we can convince client, because ultimately we are going to take over the building, so please listen to architects, what they are suggesting. So we'll have a facility like this. So then it's easy to convince and make sure that 50 years building can, withstand any sort of changes that can come up in the future. So then, considering the durability. Of course, architects always consider durability. That's one of their prime core elements that they always do. But after installation and establishing, if the operational team, if facility management team is not properly maintaining, the durability goes down. Then who will be blamed again? Then again, some people might say, okay, the wrong choice made by architect. We don't want that to happen. So make sure this operational team and this one pull together. Have you ever seen the housekeeping team in your building? A lot of people going to day-to-day office, but how many people have seen housekeeping team, where they are staying, what their well-being aspects, how they are cleaning, what is the dusters that they are using? So whether there's any cross-contamination, what is the chemical that they're using, how many people have ever thought about it? I don't think, because they are the people going to keep the building, exterior things alive. So that's what we see. If they are properly maintaining it, you can see, wow, this building is really nice. So that housekeeping is very key to ensure the durability of the material what architecture initially proposing. Otherwise, it will be like, within a few years down the line, the building can deteriorate so quickly. So then the building systems. So this is another area where MEP engineers coming into the scene, and then they are proposing to the architects, okay, this is what it is, this is the automation, then they do all the load calculations, okay, this is what water requirement is, though you plan your septic tank here, soakage pit here, and then, everything's been discussed here. Again, after post-construction stage, what will happen? Suddenly one generator stops working, and you don't have another provision to add another generator while that is there. You can't remove because the area is very small. So then operational team again blaming the design and construction team. We don't want that to happen. So we have to make sure every floor has a storage facility to keep at least the cleaning equipment. We don't want to ask them to take the cleaning from basement to higher floors. We don't want. We want to have a storage space every place. Then it's good. It's in a way, it's easy to manage and maintain. We can, improve the efficiency of the operational team. So these are the building system aspects. We can, help, give inputs to the client as well. Then the flexibility. Now with this, we are living in a COVID era, okay? So people are talking about adequate ventilations. So our buildings are designed to create a air conditioning requirement. So where you are trying to seal every ventilation aspects. So you design a building saying, okay, we want to have a top-notch air conditioning, so we don't want to, have any issues in terms of, maintaining the cooling load. So we'll tight all the areas. So what happens suddenly? How are you going to get the ventilation? All the areas are sealed. So maybe it's better to have a provision in a way, let's have some openable windows in an emergency. And that can help you in any way. For example, for an emergency case, your main entrance is blocked, but you have another place where it's a lockable entrance. You can always use and get out from in any danger that can come up. And also another thing I just wanted to emphasize here, people are talking about evacuation in an emergency in any building. Have you ever thought about it, how we can safely stay inside the office by locking our offices, so anybody can outside, strangers will not harm us. There could be a terrorist attack. I don't know, I'm just telling you. For any emergency it's better. Normally what security knows how to lock the main building, then he stays outside. But have we ever locked our offices and we stayed inside to see what are the areas where anybody can come in and attack us? No. So there should be a safe locking mechanism. So every flexibility, every aspect, and the business continuity aspects, the world that we are living in, you have to anticipate anytime the business continuity planning is important. So this flexibility is very important during the time of construction, where we can give a lot of inputs to the client to consider architects, whatever the suggestion that he is proposing during the initial stage. Right, so while doing all of this, what we can get? One is, good finished product in a building that can withstand throughout the life cycle of the building. So, and also other side is cost. So here I hardly talk about cost, because that is what mostly in Sri Lankan context people are really worried about. Cost is the prime thing. So cost, there are two areas, like tangible and intangible cost, where there are things you are going to miss. If your building is not, giving you a good comfort, users might not come. So there's a lot of opportunity cost. So cost, you can't just define what it is. So it's important that facility manager can be involved during the construction stage or planning design stage to ensure throughout the whole life cycle he put a lot of inputs, and you don't want to renovate in between and again ask money and demolition and all sort of thing. Even I read an article where nowadays the inflation is going up with the construction material. People are thinking of constructing in a steel structure rather than your concrete. So even if you demolish, you can still reuse it in a way. So that's, people are now talking about in a different areas that they are researching because of the material shortages in the country. So with this cost effectiveness, yes, let's move on to the final area. So we can extend the building life cycle. If 30 years been planned, 35, 30, 40 years. So what are the minor things that we can incorporate and increase the life cycle? So I don't know whether you all heard about sick building syndrome. So there are certain concepts people are talking about. As soon as you enter into a building, you feel like, okay, headache and tiredness, and you don't want to stay there. So not proper flow, and even air quality nowadays people are talking about in other countries. Yes, they have air quality monitors installed. Even Sri Lanka, we have one in town hall. You can check what is the air quality levels through our Med department websites. And then how many people are checking your indoor air quality of your offices? Whether you have a guts to display your indoor air quality. I doubt it, because a lot of people's carbon dioxide level will be very high. So above 400, so there's a threshold up to 800 that goes up again, then headache and all sort of other issues, drowsiness can come, so your efficiency comes down. So make sure you have all these elements considered during initial stage construction. So then it is easy. You don't want to reinvent the entire wheel in the middle of the building life cycle. So this is a final slide. So just want to touch upon how automation can help us, because these days a lot of shortages in materials, and also human resources also quite shortage these days. So how you can automate the entire building, then that automation data can give you a clear steer whether your building is in a healthy state or not. So there are different model and apps available. So building information modeling is what people are nowadays talking about, where if somebody wants to change the bulb, if they notice it, okay, one bulb is fused, it's a matter of, taking a phone or maybe through internet, or there are different mechanisms to communicate. Then that will immediately come to the facilities team, and they can see, okay, this is the bulb, and this was replaced during 6 months back, but it has a warranty 1 year, who's the vendor, how we can claim it, everything is automated. You don't want to again do the entire thing. So why you want to again purchase and replace another bulb? If there's a warranty, then you want to have a documentation, record keeping, tagging. Early days we were talking about how to manage a facility. So I'm just taking a small example here. Likewise, you can automate whatever you want. With all the field devices, with the DDC control, it's a matter of programming and automating entire thing. You can just manage your offices from the PC itself. So there are a lot of ways that we manage buildings these days. So with the collaboration of architects, and hopefully we can increase the life cycle of the building further, and we can live architects' expectations throughout the building life cycle. So thank you very much for listening. Any questions you would like to ask? Yeah, Shaveen, please join. Yeah. Yeah, so currently, thanks to the government, because they identified the need of facility management 12 years back. So our first batch passed out somewhere in 2008, right? Yeah, 2008, and then in Moratuwa University. So currently, only here, they conduct this course, yeah. Degree program.
How many
4 years.
4 years.
4 years, and third year industrial training, they need to go. 2 organizations.
So that is BSc qualification?
BSc honors, yeah.
Honors.
Yeah.
And MSc also you get, or no?
MSc still they haven't started. Yeah. Hopefully they will start at some stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Any more questions? So thank you very much. So our contacts are with organizing committee. So thank you very much for Institute of Architects for inviting us. Anytime we are there to give our whatever the knowledge what we have to preserve our country. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.